Well, guys, welcome in. I don't even know why that's I'm seeing these crowns on these people. I think that's my people, the top commenters or something. I don't know. I never seen something like that. There's like crowns I'm seeing within this chat. But they might have added some new features or something. Don't know exactly what it is. What's up, guys? Trump needs to announce more trade deals. Yeah, I mean it's more of the same. It's more of the same. Thought you said you'd be streaming more this week. I meant last week. Did you say Macron hit his wife? Macron. Yeah, that was very odd. They have a weird relationship. Macron and his wife. Thoughts on Doge falling short, then Elon, kind of a letdown. Yeah, and then Elon got punched in the face, apparently. Did you see that? He had a black eye, and then he's like, well, my son did it. My 5-year-old son, I told him to punch me in the face, and then it's like, it's just some weird situation, man. Your son punched you in the face because you told him to, and now you have a black eye. I mean, what, like, who knows with Elon? But that situation is an unfortunate bureaucratic mess. Congress probably said you're not touching shit. And Trump's like, there's nothing I can do. You're not if you're not allowed to touch the entitlements or defense spending, then what can you really do outside of eliminate some? I mean, you'd think they'd still be able to find other shit, but it's like, you understand that's like 75 along with servicing the debt, it's like 75% of the spending is that. So he wasn't even able to touch apparently 75% of the spending from what I saw. Mr. Andrew, thank you for joining. How's it going? Been waiting all week for a live stream. Oh, it's going. It's going. Tim Pool sucks. Yeah, I saw there's been some stuff with him, and so we'll have to see what happens, with this debate, like online just culture. I was watching Destiny debate this black dude. I was trying to like move around. I had to take a TV off the wall, so I was listening to it. I wasn't very impressed with Destiny, honestly. I thought it was just very, very entry level knowledge. I was not impressed. Is inflation down? Yeah, inflation it's been down for months now. Trump's brought it down in part because of the market turmoil, because of the tariffs. So inflation has been down for I mean, people are it's starting to finally catch up to where people are realizing it's down, and there's a lag period, there's a delay, but at least with the gas prices, that's a tangible thing, and people realize it. You should do a live stream every day. Well, no, I did do that one. I did a live stream like 30, I don't know, 27 straight days, maybe something like that. Trump really shouldn't increase military spending. Well, I do agree with the Golden Dome. I agree with a missile defense system to be deterrence to hypersonic missiles, things. I think that's a really good investment if you're going to spend on military. But I agree in general. I mean, raising it 150 billion is a gut punch. It's a gut punch when you have the amount of debt that we do. But I think the inflation rates are going to be brought down, so that's going to help us service the debt easier. We're not going to have to pay as much in terms of interest. Zion Williamson accusations. I mean, they're accusations. They're not going to comment on that until there's stuff that comes out. There's always a lot of stuff like that. So it's innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what happens with that. Any increase in military spending is for the Golden Dome. No, that's not true. They're only investing 25 billion into the Golden Dome, at least at the start. I mean, more will be invested, but like it's a yearly budget. So 25 billion is allotted this year apparently for the Golden Dome. If you increase the budget, the military budget by 150 billion, that's still like 85% that's not for it. Thank you for the I don't even know what currency. That's probably like 1 cent, bro. Do you think a war with Iran would collapse the US? It's hard to say. I think what are we talking about? Direct conflict with Iran? Honestly, probably not. I think there's a lot of fear mongering with that, but I hope there's no involvement. But it'd be the United States. We wouldn't even be in a direct war with Iran. We'd just be helping Israel. Gas prices in California are $5. Yeah, well, that's because of the taxes in relation to uh, fuel and oil within Cali. The liberal states have that. They have taxes on that type of stuff. That's why their prices are higher. They want you to get electric. You're weak on the stream. Streaming is the new wave. Yeah, not really for me. My videos make me more money than streaming. Streaming is just, I like doing it. It's fun to interact with the chat and things like that, but it depends what your audience is. Some people think streaming's better, other people think videos are better, but it just depends. It's weird because you'll see people that have an amazing stream, but then their videos don't get any views, and then you see people get a lot of views on videos, but then their streams don't have any watchers. You see the new Atlas Intel polls? Yeah, I did. I did a video on that. You can look at that. Those polls are pretty radical, man, in terms of the now how Rubio has jumped into second place, and you've also got Buttigieg now. I think it's pretty accurate in terms of the Democrat, because there's no way it was going to be Harris. They were never going to go with Harris. Harris was a placeholder. Now I don't know if Buttigieg is who is replacing her with. To me, I think they're just trying to find anyone. They're trying to find any white dude, but Buttigieg, it's not going to be him. But I think Buttigieg is a placeholder for someone else as well. But Harris was never going to be their pick. Do you think the appeal court will overturn the ruling and restore tariffs power? I think it already happened. Didn't they say that that the tariffs are back in place? It was crazy. You can't do that. That's remarkable what they did, what that federal court did to Trump. But it's like it doesn't even matter. These rulings are just insane. This recent one was probably the most retarded one though, because think about it. The tariffs are already tamed. They're already brought down. I could understand Congress having, and honestly, I couldn't understand it because it would undermine Trump and I mean, the mandate that he has. But it would make sense if they emergency filed something directly after Liberation Day, because nobody really thought Trump was going to go that hard in terms of the tariffs. I mean, he tariffed everything coming into the United States at least at a 10% rate. And then there was other things that were tariffed a lot higher. I mean, countries got hit with like 90% tariffs. They called them retaliatory. It was just based on the deficit we had with the countries. Like, I could understand if you wanted to do an emergency filing the day after Liberation Day, but we've already had so much time pass. The tariffs are brought back down. Now we're in a 90-day negotiating window, and you're going to tell us we can't negotiate with countries to get better trade deals because of the tariffs, because you deem Trump to not have the power to be able to impose tariffs? Really? After a month and a half, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I heard about the fighter jets. They're getting new jets. I saw. That's gonna be a more part of the expenses for sure. Part of the raise. Glenn Greenwald. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see that, but he released a statement about it. Yeah, that's $31 donation. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mister. Thank you. Wouldn't it be a weird map if GOP wins New Jersey and New Hampshire but loses Georgia? Not really. Georgia's kind of trending away. New Jersey is trending towards Republicans. New Hampshire is kind of a slight, it's like light blue. What's this Diddy Trump thing? Trump was, yeah, I don't know what Trump is doing with these people. He's pardoning degenerate people, and it's really I don't know what he's thinking, but I don't think he's going to pardon Diddy. He was asked about it by that Fox News reporter. I don't know why you even asked that question. But then Trump's like, oh, yeah, we'll have to look into it. Like, dude, come on. Did you see Trump's pardons latest with rappers? I know he's pardoning degenerate rappers. What I don't he's getting paid to do this. It's just this is the stuff with Trump that just makes you it's just like, come on, dude, you can't do this. I thought we were only gonna do the crypto thing and the meme coin but now you got to do this where there's obviously stuff under the table. It's like, come on. Carney invites Canada's foreign, completely un-Canadian. I didn't see that. I haven't been paying attention to Carney very much. Thoughts on Google's new generative AI VEO3? Do you think UBI is inevitable because of AI? By the way, CHF is the Swiss currency. Are you where are you from? Are you donating from Switzerland? Google's new AI. I haven't even seen it, honestly, man. I don't know. I know there's an AI thing here. Let me see if it's on here. Oh, wow. I guess they have the best AI. I never used it. I only use OpenAI, and I guess it's called XAI, Grok. Thoughts on latest Alberta independence information? Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's more of the same. There's really not much of an update on that. Alberta independence. Yeah, to me, it's a long shot still. And it probably it'll die down. That's my guess. We'll see, though. Maybe not. Uh, Buttigieg, 31%. Why is Trump doing crazy BS? Needs to stop the crazy posts and focus. Well, the pardons, I think, is the crazy stuff. I don't know about him posting. I don't. Has he had some crazy posts? I think the posts have been pretty in line. Tommy Lauren and Laura Ingraham blaming men for declining birth rates. Meanwhile, they're both old with no kids, undercover feminists. Are they blaming men? Yeah, that's like a common thing. And then it's the same thing over and over again. Then they get called undercover feminists, and it's like the declining birth rates are it's a cultural problem. It's the cost of living because of immigration. By the way, that's another huge thing. If you look at the actual numbers, the immigration has just destroyed the housing market, completely destroyed it. I don't know why that's not more of a talking point. I mean, we had no issues like this in the mid 1900s in terms of the housing prices, even into the 70s, 80s. Immigration has just annihilated the housing, and it's so much more expensive. And then you have these dumbass feminists who are like, I'm basing my vote off the cost of housing, you stupid bitch. Why would you vote for the Democrats who want to import a bunch of people illegally if you're obsessed with the housing costs? It's like, Lauren is ultra feminist. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't really watch her shit. Bongino said they have videos of Epstein killing. Yeah, I don't think they said that. They said they had videos of Epstein by himself. They didn't say they had him doing it in the act. I don't know what Bongino and Patel. Bongino and Patel get in positions of power and then they immediately play real nice. It's interesting. That's how the government works. You get talked to from some people. They talk a big game and then it's immediate. towing the line of the government. So, but it's crazy what Patel and Bongino has been saying. And then they say, well, the kid Crooks, he did it himself. It's a miracle. They allowed him to waltz up there with people in the back saying there's somebody on the roof. There's somebody on the roof. Kid weighs 110 pounds. But yeah, he can just shoot at Trump. That makes total sense. You thought Newsom was the front runner. Yeah, I mean Newsom has serious problems. He's considered a coastal elite. He really didn't have doesn't have a great approval rating in a very liberal state in California. He's got a lot of baggage. Newsom does. I don't think they're gonna go with Newsom. I mean Newsom can talk well. He's got the vibe of like a kind of like a JFK type white guy, Democrat, but he just doesn't. He's had some botched moments like the California fires and just horrible mismanagement with it. I mean, California is such a massive economy, so you really can't blame Newsom for it all, but that's what happens when you're the governor. And they just had horrible mismanagement in terms of the homelessness. Alberta separation has zero chance unless Trump helps. Birth rate issue is mostly due to contraceptives. I think the birth rate issue is like fivefold, honestly. But to me, it's more of a feminism, certainly. Just people in the modern age, man, they just don't want to go through any unnecessary headache. And having a kid is a big sacrifice. They don't want to sacrifice. These kids, they grow up on straight dopamine. You're watching TikTok videos and short form content, and it's just a different thing with the internet. And they don't want to sacrifice having a kid, and it costs money, and it's a woman has to go through birth, and it's just a different world with technology now and with the internet and this reward system that we have. But Alberta separation, 0% chance without Trump. I mean, I don't even know if Trump can really will it himself either. A lot of those people don't really want to join the United States. That's the thing you have to understand with Alberta. They want to be they might want to leave, but they don't want to join the U.S. But even the ones that want to leave, I think it's only like 40% or so. So, that is what it is. Vance and then Rubio doesn't surprise me. Rubio plus 10. Yeah, they probably want Rubio as VP. They started, I don't know why they didn't add Tulsi to this poll. She'd probably be at like 7 or 8%. She'd probably be in between Trump Jr. and DeSantis if Tulsi was on this poll. Newsom could be the nominee, but it seems like he might try and pivot more to the center on some issues, which is why he may lose the Dem nominee. But I mean, don't you have to pivot to the center after the way they lost in 24? To a degree, you have to. Some of them are saying they should. Bernie Sanders said, "Well, most liberals want that party to be more further left." So I don't know. I don't think that's the electorate in the United States. Would you're not going to win if you do that. So they can be more liberal all they want. It's not going to turn out well for them. But you know how it is. There's the Bernie Sanders people are way more liberal anyways. They're way more they're more socialist. They don't like rich people. And so they basically think they say they're fighting the establishment Democrats, but the establishment is more so trying to appeal to the normie moderate. You got the snip ain't having no kids with the insane. I mean, I think kids are important, but you just got to pick the right girl. Do you like the new college football playoff? I don't know. The 16 team one, I think it is getting a bit ridiculous. 16 team playoff, you're going to have 4 lost teams in from the Big 10 and the SEC. But the problem is, man, I think realignment is still the biggest problem. The conferences are so warped. The conferences are warped. It's not even close to being equal. the Big 12 and the ACC just suck in comparison. And so to me, that's the biggest thing with college football that really changed. You could talk about the playoff, and some of those games in the playoff didn't feel real that important, which is what's going to happen if you water it down a bit, I guess. Do you think the extra tax revenue from more companies moving to the U.S. can offset extra spending in the big, beautiful bill? Trump said it would, but he likes to exaggerate a lot. Well, yeah, obviously Trump's going to say that. But I do think they gave him a raw estimation, and Trump had talked about it. Trump doesn't rule out pardoning Diddy. He used to like me a lot. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? Trump's like, well, if I get the right offer. Yeah, this is what Trump was talking about here. He's talking about Congressional Budget Office. They gave a low growth expectation of 1.8%, which you would think would be higher if you're talking about this tax cut. So you'd think it's going to be higher than this. And if it is higher than this, then because, they're basing the rise in terms of the. And honestly, with Trump, like they blame Trump and they say, well, it's all this spending. It's not spending. He's cutting people's taxes. He's cutting the middle class's taxes. So like they try and do this thing to where it's like bad what Trump is doing. And I agree, cutting taxes, losing revenue right now with where we're at in terms of the deficit it's hard to do. But the idea that Trump is doing this horrible thing, like it's all this spending. Yeah, the military budget, I'll give you that. But in general, like a lot of this is coming from cutting taxes in terms of their projected deficit. What did they say was it's like they do this thing to where it's like, he's going to add $2 trillion to or what is it, $4 trillion? I don't even know what it was, over 10 years. Like, how do I even interpret that? How much is it per year? I don't give a shit about like, oh, he's going to add, because they want to use a bigger number. So it's like, is it 300 billion per year? Is it 200 billion? They have no clue, really, because, and honestly, it doesn't even matter. If the interest rates are lower, our deficit will be lower. Because if we pay $1 trillion right now on servicing the debt, and we cut the interest rate in half, it's going to be, our deficit is going to be a lot lower. We have basically a $1 trillion deficit right now, because the other trillion, they say, well, it's 2 trillion. Well, 1 trillion is just servicing the debt. It's not a deficit in terms of spending. It's because we have so much debt already piled up. We have to pay that. It's the interest. But that's why Trump's trying to get the interest rates down. If we can get the interest rates down, that number could go down. And hopefully that happens. Canadian TDS will destroy Alberta, well-deserved. Yeah, I mean, we'll see with Alberta. I just don't think they have enough. Yeah, they don't have enough support. They might have enough support to be independent, maybe, but even that, it seems like no. Because if you're getting 40 to 45% of the support, and this is like a spearheaded movement right now, imagine what happens when it kind of peters out. Because, people are their angriest right after an election. And maybe Carney will do some really dumb liberal shit and do some stuff that really hurts Albertans. But you would think if they're smart, if Ottawa's smart, they would give Alberta some type of break to placate to them, and there would be no chance of them leaving. Just do some type of compromise or something in terms of them having a lower equalization payment, or I don't think they're going to end the carbon tax or anything like that. It seems like he wants to be really green. Carney does, and the liberal Canadian government. All in, though, God bless El Trumpo. Canadian $2. Thank you for that, man. We can't let in a crazy amount of immigrants anymore. It is bad for the economy. Look at Canada and the EU. Should just bite the bullet and let the population decline. Well, that's what Japan's doing. That's what China's doing. That's what these Eastern countries are doing. They're letting it decline. These Eastern countries are a lot more racist than us. It's not even close. Why don't we just adopt that same mentality? I mean, China, they've got much bigger population than us. They've got $10 trillion less GDP than we do. So this idea that we're in a terrible place and oh, it's the worst thing in the world with GDP. It's that's what all these women argue now is GDP. Well, we had a really good GDP in the 50s and the 60s too. We didn't have all this immigration. Why do we need this immigration to keep up what? We're already $10 trillion ahead of China, and they've got almost quadruple our population if you believe their numbers. They probably have at least have 3 times our population. Do you think Florida State will come back this year? Florida State is wealthy college. They're gonna have to be better this year. I mean, they were terrible last year. Florida State didn't they win like 2 games or some shit? They have to be better. They're a good football like recently they've been good in the 2000s. Florida State, so I think they'll be better. You know, with that conference, they're gonna have a chance. Who wins the Stanley Cup? I have no clue. No clue about that. I think the Thunder are going to win the finals, the NBA finals. That's going to be bad. You want to talk about the NBA? They're going to be bitching. They're going to be complaining. The league is going to be angry. They're not getting any ratings. Imagine Thunder Pacers finals. They are going to get some bad press off of those ratings. They're going to get bad ratings on that. Really, Thunder. Well, if the Thunder face the Knicks, you could argue because it's a New York team, it's going to get maybe decent ratings. But Thunder Pacers is going to be brutal for the league. Alberta separatism has always been about independence not joining the U.S. Independence has always been more viable and better option than statehood. Well, I mean, good luck on your defense. Good luck forming a military with 4 million people. I mean, not that it matters too much, but also the other problem that I've heard with Alberta, there's things in that province that the government owns. Isn't there land as well that's like protected with tribes and stuff? I don't know, man. The First Nationers, that's what it is. China's population is a lie. Yeah, but even if they lie by 150 million, like they still have a much bigger population than us. A much bigger population. They're all in poverty. Thoughts on Tate's UK prison? Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems like they get charged once every 6 months for something, so who knows what'll come out of that. That's definitely one of those legal situations that's just a complete mess. The whole Andrew Tate legal stuff where they call him a rapist and all this, and then he says, no, I'm innocent, and then like months go by, nothing happens, and then new charges drop, and it's the same thing. This is like the 5th time we're doing this with Andrew Tate. So let's just see if anything comes out. Florida State is a baseball school. Yeah, but nobody watches college baseball. That's the problem. Funny to see all these liberal women moving to conservative countries like UAE, Poland, and then loving the low taxes, safe streets. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's got to be like very minimal though. You're not. Very very few people are gonna upend their life and then move to like fucking Poland. I mean, I've seen that Vine or Vine. I've seen that TikTok. The thing is, I was thinking about Vine earlier today, but I've seen that TikTok that where the woman moves to Poland and then tries to dunk on like West the West. It's like, yeah, well, they're extremely racist in Poland. That's the reason it's safe, honey. But I guess they just don't they can't compute it. Watch out for Washington next year. Washington football, I don't know, man. They face Ohio State. I know, like early in the season, Washington does. So that'll be an interesting game. Mhm. Why so many bots in here right now? Man, I don't know. I haven't been streaming in a while. It does feel like there's a lot of bots in here. It feels like there's a lot of bots. in this chat. This is like next level. It's one of them is my AI agent. Imagine I had an AI agent in here. No, I can't even do that. YouTube super chat won't let you type balls. It won't let you type balls, really? That doesn't even make sense. Balls is not even a bad a term. What I wanted to say, Canadian liberals don't compromise, which is why you want Trump to squeeze their collective nutsacks. Yeah. Feminism and abortion crashing the Western population. How do you solve it in fourth, third world? And where is this notion that we need all these people for work too? We don't need. The United States is not desperate to keep our already #1 GDP by importing a bunch of third world people that are going to make our quality of life worse. That's a new liberal talking point. We need more workers. No, absolutely not. We need more workers. We need more natural. We need a higher birth rate. Then we'll get more workers. That's the way we get more workers. We're not importing people. That only makes the problem worse. That just makes it worse when you import people. We desperately need more workers. Yeah, we need to raise the birth rate. I mean, dude, you should see the demographic change. Oh man. Why is Tim Pool bitching about meeting Bibi? Well, I mean, he probably shouldn't have done it. Especially with all the stuff with Israel and I don't know. They said he was. I mean, it's not a good look. Been a while. How have you been? I've been fine, man. It won't let you type bowls or nutsacks. I mean, I guess I could understand nutsacks in a donation being, but bowls is like, I mean, bowls is like a legitimate thing, but it's like a football. Like it's ridiculous that they would censor the word bowls. We do need workers. Too many drug dealers. Yeah, we give them jobs then. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the clip, I guess. I don't really care, but if people want to see it, I mean.
Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So I can't, it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. Mr. President.
It's all federal charges. Well, you can pardon federal charges, can't you? You just can't pardon state charges. Have you seen the TikTok trend showing how crappy illegal construction workers are doing with it? Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot on Instagram too. You know, it's like the home inspectors go around in these new houses, the way they're built is just, the amount of errors is astonishing. If your country's head of state is a foreign leader from another power, you aren't a sovereign nation. What, the situation with Canada? I don't know, man. Canada is sovereign. What are the Brits gonna really do? The Brits don't have control of their own country. First Nations of Alberta requested to meet with King Charles on his visit to Canada about treaty rights, and they were rejected. Now they support Alberta independence. That would be funny. Who else are you going to get to do the work? Well, this is the problem with the housing, this bullshit with, oh, we're not going to have workers if we deport all the illegals. You know, in 1960, 1970, the housing market was beautiful. We didn't have a problem in terms of building homes. There was no immigration into the country, very little immigration. Now we have all this immigration. We have a horrible housing market. There's not enough homes. There's still not enough homes. They say, oh, these illegals build all the homes. Where are they at? There's a ton of demand. There's not enough supply. That's why it's out of control right now. So it's like, you can't really tell me there's not enough workers. I mean, if we'd have the workers, we have to deport all these people though. They're jacking up the housing costs. Diddy ain't getting pardoned. Well, I mean, Trump, it's a dumb answer from Trump, to be fair. I mean, what is with these pardons to these people, man? This is not good. What happened to the Venezuelan gay dude on TikTok telling illegals ways to get in and boasting about the benefits he was getting with the baby he was holding? I never seen that video, so I don't know. Probably nothing happened to him, and he probably got deported or something. I don't know. Get reprimanded for something like that. That's a neocon cop-out. Who will pick our crops? Well, aren't you admitting the country has failed if we need to import immigrants to do all the work for us and lower our standard of life, lower our quality of living? Look at the major cities. Look at what they've become. It's non-negotiable. The solution is not importing these people. It's not. Did you see the Diggs partying on a vote video? Yeah, I saw that. You know, those prima donna receivers, it's not a road you want to go down. You like the community leaderboard edition? I don't even know what it is. What is it, based off of the amount of times you comment or something? See, I would turn my LED on, but I'm afraid it's going to really... Oh no, it should be good now. Oh, doesn't even work. I got to plug it back in. I had to really unplug all my entire setup and because I was going to move it, but then I didn't, so it's... Massey is mad again. Yeah, he needs more money. He needs more fundraising. He's going to fundraise. He's like, guys, I'm going to stand up to Israel. Donate $20,000 to me. Donald Trump is Zion Don Israel first. Thank you for the donations. I raised $22,000 for saying that. I mean, he brags about how much he raises after he does his grift where he stands up to Israel and all this stuff. What chance does he pardon Diddy? Zero. Remember when Pence ran for president? Been 2 years today. Feels like yesterday. What he announced he was running Pence? I honestly, no, I really don't remember much from that other than Tucker Carlson asking him a question about, do you support Ukraine over America? And he's like, yes. I don't think he understood the question, but it was such a pathetic answer from Mike Pence. One of the most pathetic answers I've seen from a politician, because I genuinely don't think he understood the question. Like he was not paying attention properly, and I think he just thought like, do you support Ukraine? And he was like, yes. But Tucker Carlson was like, so you support Ukraine over the United States? And he's like, yes. I mean, that's legit what it was. I'm paraphrasing it a little bit, but. That's what it builds economy, access to cheap labor. Well, we had a much better standing in the world in the 1950s. We were the #1 economy by far. In the 50s and 60s, right after World War II, we had more dominance. We had more world dominance, mainly because we weren't involved in World War II. But I mean, we still gave a bunch of money in World War II. We had more global dominance than we do now. He raises the money for himself or a good cause. For himself. For himself, of course. For whatever campaign he's going to have. Where he's like, well, they're going to run someone against him. It'll be like an AIPAC person, so. Why do you think Lindsey Graham's with Zelensky? Is he with him? I thought Lindsey Graham abandoned him. Didn't Lindsey Graham say, no, we're not going to... Yeah, remember Trump had the spat with Zelensky, and then Lindsey Graham was like, well, now I like Trump. Or he's like, now I support Trump or some shit. I don't know. Have you been in the gym looking leaner? No, man. I just don't eat a lot. I need to try and, I was trying to go back to the gym and I went for a few days. I went, I used to just go every single day and I don't know what happened to my body. It's weird, but, maybe at some point, but it stays up, the sun stays out pretty late now. It's going to be the summer solstice is what it is. Summer solstice. It's like light at like 5 a.m. too. It's pretty interesting. Have you been running still? No, I haven't. Is there seriously something with Lindsey Graham? Oh yeah, there is. He's trending right now. Dude, this is why like they show me stuff from like 3 days ago. Dude, what is Zelensky's wearing like a half suit.
Welcome.
It's like an undershirt.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
That dude's stiff as hell.
No, we're back. Happy to see you.
7th-grade.
Mr. President, such a
Good to see you.
pleasure.
It's good to come, especially now, such
Thank you, Chris.
Good to see you. Welcome.
I haven't been running, man. I don't know if I answered that question already. Never made sense to me why the U.S. entered the European theater after Pearl Harbor. They were already in it. They were already sinking German U-boats in the Atlantic. They were already involved. And then Japan just out of nowhere. You should get into drinking. Let your Irish blood speak out. Yeah, I don't want to drink, man. I'm not, you know. I never thought about drinking, honestly. Well, alcohol is very bad for you. Really, not many people in my family drink anyways. That's an old clip. Well, then why is he... Oh, is there a newer one? No, I think this is a new clip. Yeah, this is a new clip. There's no other reason why else would he be trending? ZBCN up 400% the last month. I don't know what that is, man. Russia-Ukraine will fight at least another year, watch. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if it dragged on at this point based off of the dialogue they're having. But I mean, they're doing prisoner swaps, which is something. It's not much, but it's something. They're at least talking and compromising on some things, but yeah, dude, honestly, it feels like Russia does not want to end it right now. They either want more land, or they want better positioning, or they want better negotiating leverage. They want something. Russia will control the entire Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. That's gonna be bad for Europe. But I mean, they're gonna have their influence. That's for sure. They want influence over Ukraine, whether or not they get the entire country. Who gave Elon the black eye? He said his son gave it to him. It's very strange.
I think the fundamental moral flaw of the left is empathy for the criminals and not empathy for the victims. Empathy for the criminals, but not empathy for the victims. And there's been way too much of that. That needs to stop. To the president's point, there's been immense judicial overreach that is unconstitutional, that was never intended. And it's undermining the people's faith in the legal system. It needs to stop. It's gone too far.
Mr. Musk.
Well, that's not that.
The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at DOGE. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization?
I gotta check my Pulitzer.
I
Pulitzer
think
counter.
it is.
It is.
But so I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times. Let's move on.
You're not getting notifications when I go live or when I upload videos. You have notifications on. Yeah, I mean that happens with YouTube. They've really always struggled with notifications, really since the beginning. People always say they never get notifications from creators. In the Macron video, you can see a Vietnamese woman with her sleeve torn and shoulder bleeding. What's that about? I didn't see that. The Doge Father, is that the shirt he has on?
Perhaps a few words. This is not the end of DOGE, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends.
Did Trump punch Elon?
So that.
Yeah, I think Caitlin Collins punched Elon. The CNN got angry at someone within the liberal media punched Elon.
It comes with a time limit. But the DOGE team will only grow stronger over time. The DOGE influence will only grow stronger. It's I liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government, and I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings and a reduction in $1 trillion of waste and fraud reduction. The calculations of the DOGE team thus far, in terms of FY25 to FY26 delta, are over 160 billion, and that's climbing.
With all the waste and fraud uncovered, why is no one being charged for fraud? Yeah, I think it's mainly waste is what was uncovered. Most of it is like spending that was, a lot of it with the government is, it's government bloat, so they'll create a lot of different departments that do the same thing, so you can cut that down. We've got a lot of government buildings that we don't use. It's more about efficiency than anything. That's what the DOGE, to me, that's what I think the DOGE team did. And then you cut out things like USAID, which are, that's not fraud, but it's bloat, and it's a useless department that isn't doing anything for us. It's not serving us. So to me, it's more about cutting out things that were, and then the left likes to say, well, where is any of it? Well, they have a list of everything. USAID is a perfect example. They say it's soft power. Okay, what are we getting for it? It's spreading democracy. Spreading democracy in frickin' Zimbabwe, who cares? What is that going to give us? Are we getting any minerals? What is the tangible asset we're getting in exchange for this investment of $20 billion into this department? There is none. Make them answer it. They can't answer it. Thank you for the $20, Mean Gene. You seem like a well-adjusted 40-year-old. You don't have any bad young man habits. Well, no, dude, I'm 25, not 40. But yeah. Yeah, I you do some things. I don't do many bad things, honestly, but Back to square one with crypto. No, crypto's there's money influx into crypto. Bitcoin's over 100K. Why would we be back to square one? Thoughts on the current state of college football? It's not good, but it's NIL. It's NIL and realignment. I think those are the main problems. They're saying, well, the playoff expansion is the main problem. These kids are just going to all these. They're going anywhere they want. It's this roster freedom. It's a problem. So it's a number of things, but it's like NIL and realignment are the biggest problems. All the alts are down again. My alts are really not that down, I don't think, man. Maybe a little bit. I think there's been more money flow into crypto, man. To me, it's getting better. I've seen some coins start to some of my altcoins start having responses. I mean, they're not booming, but watch a CBS News video of Macron slap. It's the 1 minute, 1 second long version. You will see a woman you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, who really cares about the French, honestly? He is a weirdo, though. Trump and Epstein partied together. Well, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Do you remember that? Do you think the Epstein video is going to be AI generated? No, but dude, nobody is actually listening to what Bongino said. Bongino said, we don't have the moment it happened, but we have video of him by himself. So if he's implying that they have video of Epstein by himself, but not just in his jail, that proves nothing. Do you see any clips from the Trump rally today? No, I didn't. I didn't even know he was having a rally. But it is interesting with Bongino how they're just, they just immediately turn. They just immediately turn. Yeah. Glenn Greenwald had some things leak. Cash has been a letdown. Yeah, right. We'll see what they end up doing. I mean, there's still a lot of time left, but they really are just they're towing the government. They're towing the governmental line, basically. Yeah, they completely changed their tune, which I guess people said you should expect, but it is pretty revealing to see it happen. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're in the FBI? The FBI are covering for someone? Probably. Why else would you say that? I mean, they said they have video, but he didn't say they had video of it actually happening. He said he had video of Epstein, presumably before, by himself. I think that's what it is. They're releasing something. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they release. I mean, the rapid response stuff is just, it's the same stuff over and over again, I feel like. This is the rally.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not prepared, but I can tell you I would rather be nowhere than where I am today with all of my U.S. Steel family, friends, and everybody that I love. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Berg. Thank you, Mr. Maury. And most of all, thank you, Donald J. Trump. Thank you, Mr. President.
So it's going to be a bunch of these clips. My goodness, they got the... Mason Rudolph was there. Remember Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett?
There you go. Mr. President, on behalf of U.S. Steel and to the people of Pittsburgh, more importantly, though, to all the Steeler fans that are here this evening, I have the honor of making you an honorary Pittsburgh Steeler and would like to present to you your jersey as...
Have Mason Rudolph sign it. It would go down in value. Nah, come on.
With the number 47 as the 47th President of the United States, a number that hangs in the National Football League Hall of Fame, I'd like to present this to a Hall of Fame president. Please accept it.
Your
I'm honored to be here with a great Steeler legend like Rocky Bleier, somebody who fought for our country in Vietnam and came back and played some great football with the black and gold. Awesome to be here, a part of this big investment in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers.
Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph's their starting quarterback. They're trying to get Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers are. I know that expectation for Trump's first 100 days have been wildly exceeded, so any bumps in the road you can handle. He's certainly done a lot. I mean, look at the executive orders. It's a record number of executive orders. It's just there's been such little congressional action. So they're gonna have to get that going. I mean, they complain about it every day. How little Congress has done, but Trump has done a lot. I agree. Tim Pool got pressed to debate Nick Fuentes and refused. Yeah, I saw that. I saw a clip of that on X. Where Tim Pool is getting mad, honestly. He should just leave it alone. I mean, if he's not going to debate him, just leave it alone. Don't talk about it. It just makes him look worse. Are you a Browns fan or a Bengals fan? Browns. That's a good looking flag. It speaks to the Rust Belt's a flag like that, the way it's... Favorite NBA team? I don't really watch much NBA anymore. I mean, I guess I'd say Cavs, but I don't really watch the NBA. to Miss America with Trump.
I know that you try to stay pretty neutral because not your war, but as
And by the way, not my war. I just want to solve the problem for people. This was not a war that was going to happen if I were president.
right, and so not your war, but as you try to fix it, and as you survey this hellscape of the Ukrainian front lines,
It's horrible.
and you and your team deal with a very stubborn Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Do you
And
look?
Zelensky.
Yeah.
But do you look at this
Very stubborn
conflict
Zelensky, too.
any differently now? Like, do you look at this and see Putin as the good guy or the bad guy?
So I've known him very well. And I went through a lot of things with him because Russia was, the Russia hoax turned out to be a total hoax. New York Times, they got to pull it.
Thank you for the $20. I appreciate it. You think Epstein was an intelligence asset who was also a perv, so the establishment can't crack open the egg without admitting to blackmailing political targets? I think Epstein was an asset for Israel. But there's definitely a lot of money into hiding it. But there were probably also U.S. Government people involved with it, and they'd be incriminated, so they don't want to touch it. It's probably something like that. But they're very careful with the Epstein stuff, and now they're trying to argue what we thought was not the unarguable, which was that he killed himself.
Pulitzer Prize. I have to give back the Pulitzer Prize. That's my lawsuit. And they're doing very poorly in that lawsuit. But, they wrote stories about how it was true and it was false. And, a lot of Washington Post also. I have gotten to see things that I was very surprised at. Rockets being shot into cities like Kiev during a negotiation that I felt was maybe very close to ending. We were going to solve a problem, and then all of a sudden rockets got shot into a couple of cities and people died. I saw things that I was surprised at. And I don't like being surprised. So I'm very disappointed in that way. With that being said, I'd like to see it end. 5,000 people, I think the number's even more than that, but 5,000 people a week are being killed. Mostly soldiers, but also people that live in little cities and towns throughout Ukraine. And I'd like to see that stop.
It's just more the same from Trump. Putin just doesn't want it to end right now. Man, it's really storming. It's really storming out. Zelensky meeting Graham is awful. Is it really that surprising? Lindsey Graham, he's been a huge supporter. The international student stuff, I never really liked that. But I understand, people say it's because of the Israel stuff, but they say it's a bunch of these Chinese kids, apparently. I don't know. APAC CEO brags about APAC controlled Trump's national security offices, such as Marco Rubio, John Ratcliffe, and Mike Waltz in new leaked videos. Well, they certainly controlled Waltz. Waltz was working with Netanyahu. They should investigate that. Thoughts on CPAC heading to Poland and Hungary ahead of critical elections on Sunday in Poland? Yeah, Poland, I think, is swinging to the right more from what I've seen. This is the election. Andrew, what's up, man? Along with Harvard, Penn State, and Michigan University are pointed out accepting info stealing Chinese students. Well, dude, you know the rates of just Asian kids getting into schools is insane. But they do deny a lot of them because it's just they're so overrepresented because they're so good at school that they're smart. But I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of them that steal info. Xbox coin. I never seen that. I don't know. What market cap is it at? Thoughts on liberals saying taco? Well, I mean, I like, what do you, the tariffs, he's going to use the tariffs for negotiation leverage. So it's like, whatever. But with liberals, it's never good enough. They hate the tariffs, then Trump takes the tariffs off, then they complain he takes them off. Tim Pool always says World War III will happen. Well, so does Alex Jones. They all say it. They all say World War III will happen. Because, that I guess that gets views. I never really found that to be true. When I put World War III into stuff, it really doesn't get many views. But, it's like gets a reaction from people. Ben Shapiro is crying again. He hates that Trump cautioned Netanyahu to not take any action to jeopardize the U.S.-Iran nuclear deal. He hates when America doesn't bend over for Israel. Yeah, at this point, I mean, Shapiro, I don't know how you could really... I mean, Shapiro is blatant. He might as well just say there's more of a support for Israel with Shapiro than the United States. It seems like it's blatantly obvious. It seems like he approaches everything from an Israeli perspective, which, I mean, he's Jewish, that's fine, but, like, he supposedly has this right-wing media company, so it's weird. But with Shapiro, how do people still... It's like the dude wants... when it comes to the United States and dragging us into a Middle Eastern conflict, there's no even thought about that. He just doesn't care, because he doesn't care about what is best for the United States. But it's like he's making it so obvious now. So, I mean, I don't know. And then he's like, well, that we should do whatever we want. Well, dude, you get all of your influence comes from the United States. So you should do whatever you want. Well, then we're going to leave you alone. Do you like that? Did you see Biden? I did see. I heard about Biden speaking. What was that? Didn't Biden yell or something? Is like he's like angry or some shit. I can't even search on this thing. That's the problem. Biden appeared stronger and more coherent. Dude, the liberal cope, just give it up. It's over. They're still trying to defend it.
Well, the prognosis is good. We're working on everything. It's moving along. So I feel good.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. And they're underway. And all the folks are very optimistic.
And so you've started treatment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to share what exactly that entails?
Well, it's all a matter of taking the pill. one particular bill. And for the next 6 weeks and then another one. And the expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. It's my bones are strong. I hadn't penetrated, so I'm feeling good.
Sir, I feel like everybody Sorry.
I've done it all because I'm loyal. I do it every damn year at the very beginning. I never forget where I came from. That's why.
I feel like everybody didn't know what to expect of you today, and then you get here and you're speaking powerfully. You look good. You're confident. What do you say to all those people? Don't count you out.
Well, I say lots of luck on the.
That Megan bitch from CNBC asking Trump about taco has no class. What a stupid question. I couldn't believe that question when I heard it. It's just such a... But honestly, you know what? For her, it works. This is how it is with the media. You know, now that this is a big thing with that you know, Trump chickens out or whatever, which is what... I didn't even know that was a saying, honestly, until this reporter brought it up. Maybe I'm just not up to the liberal lingo. But it's like, it's just some boomer, like, comedy, like, oh, taco, he chickens out. It's like a boomer thing. But that's what liberals come up with. But what are you asking? Why don't why don't you ask an actual question? But you know that's going to get their views, and it's I guess it's good for them. They get that.
Senior year.
What has this been like for your family? Obviously, this is also an emotional time. This is the 10-year anniversary of your son, Bo's passing. You received this diagnosis just 2 weeks before that.
Well, we're all optimistic about the diagnosis. Matter of fact, one of the leading surgeons in the world is working with me. And he had diagnosed with the same exact thing 32 years ago. He's alive and well, doing very well. So we're optimistic. We're optimistic.
And
not talked about enough, WTF. You only care about America. Same thing Tim Pool says. Well, Tim Pool started saying that if you talk about Israel too much, you're Israel first. The problem is, dude, Tim Pool, have you seen his arguments? He's like, well, we have to support Israel because of the Suez Canal and global trade. That's his arguments. His arguments is basically 1999 neocon, we need Middle Eastern oil, so we must support them. That's his argument, Tim Pool. But now Tim Pool, I mean, listen, the thing is with Tim Pool, he just needs to... I was listening to Tim Pool, he had that feminist lady on again. Do you know the lady? The woman that's like... But that woman is just miserable to talk to. She's like, do you know what the Al-Karsten theory is? Oh, you don't know what that is? You're stupid. Like, shut up, lady. But, he had some feminist on today, Tim Pool did. I saw it. It was recommended to me, so I was watching some of it. But even Tim Pool, he speaks in these weird, like... It's just a really weird cadence. I don't know. It's hard to explain with him. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
There's also been a lot of discussion recently about your mental and physical capabilities while you were in office.
You can see that. I'm mentally incompetent, and I can't walk, and I can beat the hell out of both of them.
Do you want to reply to any of those reports, and also to the fact that there are some Democrats who are now questioning whether you should have run for re-election in the first place?
Why didn't they run against me then? Because I'd have beaten them.
Do you have any regrets?
No, I don't have any regrets. Look, we have a...
What did he say? Why didn't anyone run against me? Because I would have beaten them? Well, you have the whole system behind you. You're the incumbent.
There's a lot going on, and I think we're in a really difficult moment, not only in American history, but in world history. I think we're at one of those inflection points in history, where the decisions we make in the next little bit are going to determine what things look like for the next 20 years. I've been talking about that for a long time. And I'm very proud. I'll put my record as president against any president at all. You notice the 10 leading presidential historians rated me pretty good up on that list, and the guy I ran against, I rated him the last. So.
Oh my God. He just referenced the presidential ratings from those liberal historians. This dude is, you know what? You feel bad, you know, I hope Biden gets better, I do. But this is like where it's at with Biden. Well, number one, if you're actually a historian, and you're ranking Biden's presidency, you're not a real historian. They say you must wait 10 years, 15 years to actually rank a president, maybe even longer than that. So you know it's just straight bullshit liberal cope when they immediately rank Biden, who was one term, couldn't serve a second term because he cognitively declined, but also because he was going to lose. I mean, think about the context of this. How can you rank a president who they know he's going to lose if he, and this is the incumbent advantage for supposedly what they've ranked as like a top 15, top 20 president ever. But that same president is going to lose, so they don't run him. It's so bad they cannot run him. And the entire party he has a horrible debate. And the entire party's like, honestly, it's not even worth me going into a spiel about. But it's like, I mean, it's just more of the same from Biden. You think there will be interest rate cuts in July? I do. Because look at the GDP growth. If it's 3.5%, 4% with low inflation, you know, how can you how can you stop that? I gotta look at this update. Yeah, I mean it's been a little bit tamer. It's starting to come back down. And it's still pretty tame. I mean, didn't the UK cut with 3.5, 3.25 inflation, trueflation? The UK cut. Yeah, but that's the other thing. They're trying to like turn this around for Biden. You've got Jake Tapper grifting off a book where he basically says it's the biggest scandal ever. And this is a liberal. This is a liberal. This is from a liberal network.
We may not lobby the executive, but as we were talking about, there was a discussion earlier about Congress being representative to the people. Well, the White House has to be responsive to Congress. And so it's working with, at the time, our friends on the Democratic side of the aisle to apply pressure the way that they know how to an administration, as it will be with this administration. Bob was talking about the people who will get appointed into some of these jobs. Look at the top level, you talk about Marco Rubio and Stefanik, and Michael Waltz. Those three people have something in common. They all serve in Congress. They all have relationships with key APAC leaders from their communities. So the lines of communication are good. Should there be something questionable or curious that we need access on the conversation to? You never know. One of the first candidates I ever met with as an APAC professional in my job was meeting candidates for Congress was a guy named John Ratcliffe. He was challenging a longtime incumbent member of Congress in Dallas. This guy looks like he could win the race. And we go talk to him. He had a good understanding of the issues. And a couple of weeks ago, he took the oath as the CIA director for crying out loud. I think this is the guy that they had a chance to speak to. So there are a lot, I don't want to call them lifelines, but there are lifelines.
Trump should limit his media appearances. These reporters have no more questions to ask him, so he'll come up with dumb shit. Yeah, I think he's out there going to do that, honestly, because now Trump always likes to take questions, to be fair. He always likes taking questions from the reporters, but he limits some of their access, like Reuters and, you know, the AP. He banned them because they didn't recognize the Gulf of America. So he gets angry, but he takes way more questions than Biden or Obama did. One president debate and then the Democrats switch candidates proves Democrats just rank him as just as terrible. But it's like with Biden, it's so ridiculous. Even when they say, well, this is what he gets praised for. Well, what did Biden exactly do? Like, it's hard to even tell if Biden wanted the some of the things that got passed to get passed just because I don't know if he's mentally capable. How do you even trust this probably AI voice with this? Yeah, they got Rubio. No, I don't know, man. Some of them were banned and they were allowed to come back in. Yeah, the probably that CNBC lady. That's probably one of them. Nothing ever happens. 46% chance. Russia and Ukraine ceasefire by the end of June. There's no way that's happening. Search Ben Shapiro clip. What the one when he was talking about why Israel should go at it without the United States. I mean, if Israel wants to go without the United States, the problem is we still fund them, so it's Does Tim Pool always need to wear a beanie? I don't know. I mean, they said he was wearing like he wears it in the ocean. It's can't be good. Divorce. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna happen. "2025 is literally the year nothing ever happens." Well, we'll have to. Hopefully, a ceasefire happens, but probably not. Is it storming? Not anymore. No, it was really never storming. It was just raining hard. There was no real lightning or thunder here, but it was raining pretty hard. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I will see you another time. Why do judges feel they hold more power than our president? Well, it's because the Democrats have no actual political power right now. They don't have either chamber. They don't have, obviously, the presidency. So they have to check Trump some way. And so that's why you're seeing all these ridiculous, like, local judges do this crap because it's all performative. And they get rewarded for it within the Democratic Party, holding up Trump's initiatives, absolutely. Even if it is unjust. And then it goes to the Supreme Court, and there's all this shit, and sometimes Trump gets it in his favor, sometimes he doesn't. Ever hold Twitter spaces? I don't think I've ever been involved in a Twitter space. What is it? Just like a podcast, basically. Twitter spaces, I guess you can understand why Twitter spaces would be good because if you have a big Twitter account, but not a big YouTube channel, the Twitter account, you could get more people and stuff. But it really wouldn't make sense for me to have Twitter spaces. I don't really have a big Twitter anyways. Stream tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I want to stream more. I mean, I used to stream a lot, and then you know, I stopped a little bit, but I want to stream more. It's just like, what is there to stream about? That's the problem, you know. There's just not much to stream about sometimes, and so it's better for me to do a video, I guess. All right, I'll see you guys.